Good evening, YouTubers. Welcome to the Inner Sanctum. Warwickshire Piper here on a Saturday night. Saturday night's alright for drinking. And I cheers. Some hobgoblin. And an Eric Nording. Beautiful Eric Nording. Lovely half rusticated, handmade. Whether you can catch that silver band. Hope you're all doing okay, guys. I hope the weekend has been kind to you so far. Right, okay, tonight we're going to have a brief chat about a couple of things. Going to do a quick tobacco review, give you some of the story behind it, and a Yabo from the other day, if you remember from my first post. I was hoping to do a proper box opening with the knife and the sellotape and all the rest of it, and the ooh and the ah and bit of drama, but unfortunately that wasn't to be. Here it is. We'll talk about that in a second. Cheers. Right, okay, a few weeks ago I was scouring eBay for bargains, as you do, and I came across 5 Stanwell pipes. Pretty rough, pretty poor looking, pretty tired, and it doesn't bother me particularly, providing they're not too bad, because I can do them up and restore them and make them look beautiful again. So I've been on these Stanwell pipes, and with the picture at the back of the Stanwell were these. A 7-ounce tub of Edgeworth Ready-Rubbed, sealed, and a 14-ounce tub of Edgeworth Ready-Rubbed, also sealed. Now, this got me quite excited. Obviously the Stanwells were okay, and I thought I'd got a price in mind, and I put the bid in. But what really got me excited was the tobacco. Cut a very long story short, I won the pipes for a decent price, and I just sent a sort of general message to the guy that was selling them, who actually, it turns out, he was a young guy who was selling the Stanwells. His granddad had sadly passed away, and he'd got the job of selling the pipes. And I said to him, I said, I'm just checking to make sure that the tubs of tobacco are included in the auction price. And the guy sent me a message back, and he said no. He said, sadly not. He said, I apologise. He said, because I was unaware of eBay's tobacco selling policy, so it's just the pipes. If you're not happy, I can refund you the money. So for a second or two I broke out into a cold sweat, and I thought, I'm not going to give up that easily. So I sent him a message back, and I said, well, yes, you are correct. I said, you can sell me or include the tins purely as collectible items, and just give me the contents of the tins for free. And I said, I'm not going to say anything to anybody. Anyway, I sent the message off, and I thought, well, we'll see. I've done my best. Anyway, after about an hour, he replied and said,
"Hey guys, welcome to another quick video from Homesteading Off the Grid. I'm sitting here this morning having my coffee, enjoying my beautiful view, and I'll share it with you here real quick."
Sorry about that, not quite sure what happened there. Anyway, so he said yes, he was going to send me the tobacco free of charge and include the tins. So I was absolutely stoked, ecstatic. I haven't got many seriously aged tobaccos like this. I've got some McBaron Virginia No. 1 that dates back to 1980, 1981ish. I've got some 12-year-old McClellan Christmas Cheer and some Grau Small Plug from 2001, plus others, you know, sort of 4 or 5 years old, but nothing anywhere near to the age of the Edgeworth. Now, I got talking to the guy that sold me the Edgeworth, and he said his granddad was an active pipe smoker till about 1973, 1974, you see, and the tobacco's dated from that period. So anyway, it transpired that he was only a youngish guy. So I posted a couple of pictures online on various Facebook groups, and there's a lot of experts out there, as I say, within the pipe smoking community on the internet and Facebook, and obviously the YPTC. And the general consensus of opinion was that this was Lane Edgeworth Ready-Rubbed, dating roughly between 1968 and 1974. You know, the tin art or the tin design hailed from that period. So this was quite exciting. Now obviously the tins were sealed. Now obviously with a tobacco of that age or older, there's absolutely zero guarantee of what's inside is going to be any good, because the tin could perforate, it could let air in. Obviously that's terrible, it's going to dry out, it could have gone mouldy, so there was always a big risk in that. Now I looked at the tins, they arrived thankfully, and the tins do have a little bit of corrosion on them, the bigger tin more so. So I thought, right, what do I do with these? Do I keep them? Do I open them? So a couple of weeks ago, I was invited up to a barbecue up in Yorkshire at Eddie Lum's place at Exley Hall from the UK PTC. And I thought, what a fantastic opportunity to share some of the tobacco and pop the tin, you know, with everybody being there, so everybody can see it. You know, if it's smokable, we can share it. Excuse me while I fire up. And that is exactly what I did. Pop the tin, and thankfully it was absolutely bloody perfect. The smell, heavenly. Moisture content, pretty much spot on. I don't know whether you can see that. So anyway, everybody had dibs. Everybody had at least a couple of 3 bowls, or at least 1 bowl I should say, which was fantastic. Now it tastes, I was really keen to try this, really keen, because excuse me, just 2 seconds. Now basically this is back in the day when it was readily available. Obviously it's long since discontinued. It's a burley blend, an OTC burley blend, allegedly one of the best selling OTC blends ever produced in America. But I say that's not my opinion. This is what I've read and what I've heard. Now burley blends, I like burley blends. I wouldn't sort of go crazy for them, but obviously the age on this had, you know, it's affected its taste, I think, so much. I mean, obviously you've heard of Solani aged burley flake. Gorgeous blend, gorgeous tobacco. But this is a burley blend that is incredibly sophisticated and very, very mature. If you can imagine Solani as being perhaps the you know, the cocky teenager in the classroom, well, this is the professor in the school. It is sophisticated. It is wonderfully aged and balanced. You get a hint of chocolate. You get chocolate, cocoa. Maybe a touch of alcohol in there somewhere. Maybe a dark rum. And obviously that burley spice. It's a very coarse cut tobacco. It's with the consistency of minced cork, I would say. I don't know whether you can see that. Very, very coarse cut. The smell is incredible. It really is. I'll say this is discontinued now. First produced by the company LaRousse and Brothers, who were headquartered in Richmond in Virginia. And it was later sold to Lane. In 1968. Now obviously this is a Lane branding. So hence the dating from 68 to sort of mid 70s-ish. Anyway, it's almost as old as me, if it isn't. So that puts it at about 21 years. No, I'm kidding. Around 40 years old. It's quite special tobacco. Now when I tried it at first, because I wouldn't sort of go crazy for burley blends, but the more I've had of this, the more I get into it. Very tasty tobacco. Very tasty tobacco. So that's it, guys. It's easy to light. So it's not too dry, burns fairly quickly, no bite at all, surprisingly. And for a tobacco that, as I say, is the best part of 40 years old or more, it's a grand smoke, it really is. And I consider myself very lucky to have just stumbled across these two tints, because I mean that's it. And that's quite often how you find aged tobacco. You just might happen to stumble across some. You might be given some. You might find some at a car boot. Obviously, there are people on eBay that sell empty tins, or sell the collectible tins that are sealed minus the contents, but you will pay a serious premium for discontinued and seriously aged tobacco. You pay crazy money for an empty tin, for a proper empty tin, which amazes me. Anyway, that's that, guys. What I'll do, I've got this is a 7-ounce tin that was opened at the other week. If anybody would like a couple of bowls as a sampler, then please drop me a message, drop me a comment. Or you can drop me an email with an address, and I'll send you some out. Bearing in mind, lads, I've only got the lads and lasses, this is a 7-ounce tub that's open. At the moment I have no plans to open the 14-ounce tub at the moment. I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep it or whether I'm going to sell it. I'm sure there'll be plenty of customers if I decide to sell. But I just really like having it, and it's still in tip-top condition, which is really nice. Okay, that's my review on the run of the aged Edgeworth Lane Ready-Rubbed. Right, going back to the Yabo from first post, I did say that I had a box in the car that I was going to open that evening, but never did. So I opened it a couple of days later because I couldn't wait to do a clip, to do a vid. There's a lovely soft chamois leather case, and there is the pipe. It is a Gianmarco Ago sitter. With a lot of Ago designs, he tends to prefer and do a lot of variations to the basic poker design. And this is slightly different in the fact that the stem goes more or less directly into the bowl. Like so. It's unusual. I haven't smoked it yet, and that came from the Commander-in-Chief of the UK PTC, Rob Kimberley, for a very reasonable price. It was a cracking price. I couldn't say no. Mind you, I can never say no. As Mr. Dominic Allen will attest, and Matty, smoking chunk of 57. But I did like the look of this. and I have got another Ago poker that I annoyingly can't find amongst this lot. I have looked because I was going to compare the two. Cheers. Good head on that. Too much of a head. No flake in it. So that's it. It's a beautiful, beautiful blast. Lovely grain with a smooth rim. Been very gently smoked by Mr. Robin Kimberley. And also, while we're talking about Rob, it's his birthday today. So if all of the YTPC and UK PTC, happy birthday, Rob. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Bottoms up. Behave yourself. Right, next thing that I'm going to talk about is an unusual piece of tobacciana that I didn't know existed until fairly recently, and it is one of these. It's not a model UFO, it's not a lady's powder compact. It is, for those that don't know, I'm sure there's plenty of you that do, but just for those of you that don't, it is a backy flap. A fairly new acquisition for me. I did manage to track one down. You do get a few of them on eBay. Not a great many, admittedly, but you do get a few. And this is a one-up. W-U-N-U-P. One-up. Now these were made out of Bakelite, which was the first commercially available plastic. And what they are is a tobacco holder or case, nice and hard, nice and slim, so you can pop it in a pocket. Designed to hold a small amount of tobacco, probably for a day, as long as you're not a chain smoker. So it beats carrying about something like this. And we've all got another little pouches, and it's a piece of tobacciana history. Now, did a little bit of research on these, and they were made by the One Up company, which is a mysterious company. You can't find out an awful lot about One Up. They made various tobacco cases and Bakelite, a Bakelite pipe as well, apparently. These were sold from the 1930s to the mid-1950s, I'm reliably informed. 1937 is the earliest mention of them, so we shall say 1937 onwards. Now, the One Up company disappeared, and then Parker, not of Lady Penelope fame, but of Parker Pipes, subsidiary company to Dunhill, started making them when One Up disappeared. Now, apparently, the Parker ones are classed as slightly inferior to the One Up. Now, I don't know about this because I've only got this one, but the knowledgeable pipe smokers and tobacciana collectors out there have reliably informed me that they don't seal, that the Parker backy flaps do not seal as well as the One Ups. Now you can expect to, when you do find these on eBay, you can expect to pay, if you're lucky. I was lucky, I tend to be lucky quite often. I paid, I don't know whether you can see the writing on that. £25 for this, which I consider to be a good price. I have seen these go for as high as 50 quid, but they're a wonderful little thing. I'd say a great piece of pipe smoking history. Lovely little thing to own. I say this is in great condition. I nearly lost it the other day, but I found it. It had fallen down behind the cushion on the sofa. So that's it, guys. A little bit of history all round this evening with the Edgeworth and the backy flap. And thank you very much for watching. Hope you all have a great Saturday evening. Don't drink too much. Don't fall over if you do. And I will speak to you very soon. Take care, guys. All the best. I'll be back.